Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this room we're going to be reviewing to you Once Upon a Time, Season 3, Episode 9, Think Lovely Thoughts. This episode was incredible. The ending of this episode, oh my god, now we have to wait 2 weeks for it, and I don't want to wait 2 weeks, but let's just get to it because this was an amazing episode by far. I mean, it was such a great episode. And it was by far the darkest episode of the season, and it was also kind of scary as well because of, like, what happened at the end. Not really, like, scary, but, I mean, it was definitely startling. So let's just get to this episode. So as we know, the episode ended with Pan wanting Henry to basically come to this place in Neverland to basically, he thinks, save magic. That's not the real reason why. We find out a little later. I'll get to that in a second. But Rumpelstiltskin and Regina now have Pandora's box. They're ready to show it to everyone. Rumpelstiltskin goes up to Neil. Neil's like, no, we can't trust him. And they're not really sure if they can trust Rumpelstiltskin throughout this whole thing. But eventually they find out that he does really want to help them and that he does want to save Henry. So that was a good thing. I like seeing that, Neil and, Rumpelstiltskin's father and son relationship was repaired, luckily. The other thing I have to say is that, they find Wendy, basically, and, Wendy basically tells them the truth. The truth is not that Pan wants to do this to save magic and Wendy is sick. It's that actually Pan wants to be mortal, and it's kind of a trade. If, Pan will be mortal, but Henry dies. And that's exactly, what they need to stop from happening. And this really gets them worried on, what's going to happen and everything. And, we see that Henry is very close to, finishing, to doing this, basically. And there's a lot of things that, you can see that now we know this is happening. They're very, very concerned to find Henry. They need to make sure this doesn't happen. And they don't want to lose him. And I think it's just so great the way they all banded together to try to save him, basically. And, so while this is going on, though, while they were finding out what was really going on, Pan was just about to take Henry to the place where he has to restore magic. So eventually they reach the place where they have to restore magic. But what ends up happening is that they get there, but before anything can happen, they run into everyone. They finally meet up with Henry. So now they're finally met up with Henry. I'm like, okay, maybe they're going to take him. But that's not what happens because Pan's like, no, don't believe him. They're saying, Pan's lying to you, Henry. Come on, come with us. You got to get out of here. And Pan's saying, no, don't believe them. Why should you believe anything an adult says? Also, well, there's one other thing I'll get to in a second. But basically, they're talking to him and everything, and basically he's forced to make a choice between his family or Pan, basically. And Pan basically says you have to restore magic, you have to save the town, you have to make sacrifices for everyone. And they're all like, come with us, come with us. Henry doesn't listen to them. He ends up he thinks saving magic, but exactly what happens. Pan is about to transform immortal. Henry lays on the floor, dead. So Henry just died, and Pan is now going to turn to immortal. This was the biggest cliffhanger of the season, and I really do not want to wait. But we have to wait, unfortunately, 2 weeks for this episode. And I really don't want to wait because this episode tonight was such a great episode. We found out so much in this episode. There was more than that was going on. But also, now that this has happened, there's a lot of stuff we need to worry about. The other thing we have to talk about is that Emma was trying to find a way to get David off the island. They basically said there's no way to get him off the island, but they have to find a way to get off the island, basically. But again, everything is being controlled. Everything is still being controlled by Pan. It is. It's all still being controlled by him, and I really like that. But the other thing we learned in this episode is we learned Rumpelstiltskin's connection to Pan. So when Rumpelstiltskin was a very young boy, his father took him to Neverland as like a surprise, whatever. And his father wanted to be able to basically have all this pixie dust. His father wanted to find the pixie dust because for some reason there was stuff that he could not see in Wonderland that only Rumpelstiltskin could see. And basically it's because his father is older basically, and his father was getting older, that he could not stay in Neverland. In Neverland with Rumpelstiltskin. Because basically he's an adult, so kids have to stay in why do I keep saying Wonderland? Neverland. It's a kid thing, and Rumpelstiltskin's very upset about this, and we see the confrontation between Rumpelstiltskin and Pan, and we see that this was basically the first time that they met. This was the first time that Pan and Rumpelstiltskin met, and this was also the time when Pan was starting to develop powers. Now he tells Rumpelstiltskin, why do you think my name is Peter Pan? And supposedly I think he did something to his father, because we did not see his father after that scene. So obviously something happened to Rumpelstiltskin's father. We don't know what happened, but something happened to Rumpelstiltskin's father. What Pan did, I don't know, but something happened there. But that was pretty much the episode. It was by far the most intense episode. I think there were some really intense scenes in this episode. And now we have this whole big cliffhanger. Now, there are a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, now we, of course, have this conflict with Henry, and the whole thing with, he's, dead now. How are they going to be able to revive him? They need to find a way to get off the island. But basically, it sounds like Pan's going to say to them that it's a matter of life or death, basically, and that their only way to get off the island is for him to kill all of them, which I don't think is going to happen. But something big happened tonight. Pan turned into a mortal. So now that Pan is mortal, what's going to happen? And also, we also found out that Pan was dying before, and that's the main reason why he wanted Henry to do this, because Pan was dying. And also, what's going to happen to Wendy? What do you think is going to happen there? Not much from Storybrooke in this episode. Really nothing with Storybrooke at all happened in this episode, I think. There wasn't really anything with Storybrooke, but I definitely really enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you guys thought of it. What's going to happen to Henry now that he's dead, basically? He's dead, we think. I don't think, maybe he's just in a coma. But, and what's going to happen to Pan now that he's mortal? What do you think is going to happen? And also, how are they going to get off the island? There has to be a way. It looks like in the next episode, they're finally going to wrap up this whole island storyline, which a lot of people are, I'm sure, going to be very happy about, because I know a lot of people were starting to get a little sick and tired of this whole island storyline, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. And also the scene that I absolutely loved was the scene where the whole town was getting its magic back, basically. I think that was a really cool scene, and just the way it was done, I thought was really, really cool. The only people who were not there to save Henry were basically Charming and David and Mary Margaret, because they were trying to find a way to get David off the island, basically. But that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw of this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And I gotta go, guys, because I have to go watch The Walking Dead. So I'll see you then. Bye.